Benjamin Betts. It's all about the Benjamin Betts, baby. You know what's up? Yes, and Benjamin Betts, baby. All right, welcome back, everybody, to Benjamin Betts. We are here in the final regular season games of NFL.
Oh, baby.
This is week 18, and it's more or less in terms of the playoffs. We have a pretty good picture, still a few teams vying for some spots, but it is a complicated week. Corey, my friend, my co-host, what makes week 18 so complicated?
It's hard because you just don't know who's playing. You don't know maybe the motivations of some of these teams. That just makes these tough. You know, it's like, oh, you look at a divisional game, KC at the Raiders. It's like, okay, you know, in week 13, that's KC minus 7.5 all day. They're just going to roll over the Raiders. This game, I have no idea. You know, the Raiders probably should have gotten stomped by the Niners last week. I think that was 9.5 was the spread.
Yeah.
They probably should have won, you know? So it's like, I don't know what needs to happen. Kansas City, you know, a win and it, you know, it guarantees them the 1 seed. So there's motivation there. So it just makes these hard. That's all. It's just like fantasy in the last week of the season too. It's like, well, I want to pick up this random guy off waivers, and all of a sudden he has like 40 points, you know, kind of thing. So I don't know, man. There's one game. I don't know if I want us to go there. Well, hold on. Let's recap. Can we recap real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely need to recap last week.
Let's recap. So, we were 3-3 last week, but can we break this down like we usually like we
absolutely,
like to do?
Because it's a very sour 3-3.
It's such a sour 3-3. Our 3 wins, very solid. Like we weren't really even sweating the 3 wins. Let's talk about the losses. The Panthers, we had them at +3. Just they gave it to Tom. They said,
"What are they doing? Like they destroy your Seahawks."
Yeah,
like they're just running up the score on other teams, and now you get this like lifeless, limping organization, and you can't close the deal. And where was that game? Was at Tampa. It
was at Tampa.
But listen, I don't know if you know this. I've been to this game before. I have been to multiple games of Carolina at Tampa with my family out there, and every single game I go to, Carolina destroys Tampa at home.
Oh my gosh.
I remember Steve Smith getting like 200 yards, 3 TDs. Like, what happened?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. And you know, they're up, right? 21-10, I think, going in the 4th. They were even up kind of like 4 or 5 minutes left. Like, I think we felt pretty good about covering. You know, maybe Tom drives them down and get a last minute field goal for a win, but I feel like we still were going to cover the game. But then it just, you know, Sam Darnold throw that he fumbled on his like 6-yard line, like just stupid stuff. So that one was heartbreaking. The Commanders, what are you doing? Like, all they had to do was win that game, and they had a playoff spot. Like, just win the game, and then they choke it away. Like, what are you at home against Cleveland?
Home. And it's hard because you're looking at Ron Rivera, who I really respect Ron Rivera as a coach, and they just seem to be motivated. But it's like when you have this quarterback carousel of who you're putting in, like Carson Wentz, I have zero faith in Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
I had some in Heineke, but I guess I'm off the hype train now.
Yeah. Well, they were up. I mean, again, they were up 7-3. They were winning. And then Carson Wentz started throwing interceptions. So,
which is what Carson Wentz does.
Which is what he does, and we understand that. But man, a win! Come on, win the game. Cleveland got nothing to play for.
Yeah.
And then the one we were kind of mixed emotions about. We talked about this a little bit on the phone. The Ravens. Yeah. They had the game. They had it. They had it in their pocket. But one of us, will remain nameless, was kind of rooting for Mike Tomlin. and it wasn't me.
I can't help it. I will remain named. It was me. I watched that entire game, and all I could think about was Mike Tomlin is not going to have a losing season. And I know that can still happen this week. They have a very difficult game this week to play.
Mm-hmm.
But that if there's one coach that I would want to play for in the NFL, it's Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
That I would go to work to play for Mike Tomlin. He is like the Denzel of the NFL. Like I feel like he would look me in the eye and just motivate me. and I would go to war with that man. Like I'm all in. But yes, did I put my mojo behind the team that we didn't have? I will confess, yes, we did. Right. It's not great. I don't have any regrets though.
No, we'll forgive you. We'll forgive you. I was thinking about this about him, and I think the closest like NBA comparison, he hasn't won as many as Popovich, but it's got to be like Popovich, where like you give them. It doesn't matter who the 5 players are on the court. The Spurs now they're tanking this year, but he if he cared, if they told Pop, hey, we'll give you whatever you want, you just win this game tonight, he get whatever team he has, he'd win. He'd find a way to win.
He would.
That's Tomlin. It's like, here's your quarterback, here's your running back, but he moves the chess pieces around. He's very good.
I agree. I totally agree.
So then we lost that on that game winning drive by Pickett, so we didn't cover there. So those are our 3 losses. So 3-3. We did make the mortgage, so that was good. So our percentages real quick. We're at 56% on our NFL picks right now for the season.
I'm meh about that.
This is going into week 18, Jared, is like how I would take a final if I knew I couldn't fail the class, but I couldn't also get like a B. I didn't study. I was like, whatever. And that's kind of where we're at. So 56%, we're not going to get to our 60 line, which sucks. But we're not going to fall below 50. So, we retain our jobs for next year. But did we get promoted?
Where are we
Probably
at on
not.
the mortgages?
Mortgages were at 64%.
Oh, so okay. So we got some stuff to play for.
We've been making our mortgage, which is really good. The wives are happy there. But we'll see if we can finish 11-7 there. So we're 56-44 on our single game picks, 11-6 on mortgages. So. But Jared, we have a shot. We have 1 week left for the parlay, and we're gonna hit it.
This would be a crazy week to hit it because, like you said, it's chaos, and who knows who's gonna play.
Yeah, ain't nobody have any idea. Ain't nobody know.
But I do have one guarantee for you, Corey, this week if you'll let me open up.
Oh, start swinging. Go for it.
Jacksonville minus 6.5. The Titans are trash. They are absolute trash, Corey, and they will not be going to the playoffs. And Jacksonville is HOT hot, just like it is in Florida right now.
Can I check? Is Henry playing? Do you know? Let me look.
It does not matter.
Oh,
it does not matter. The Tennessee Titans they were great, and then they went into the woods, and then they took a dump, and then they've been swimming in that dump ever since like week 9. It is an embarrassment to Nashville what is happening.
Oh my
and
gosh.
There is no way, based on how good the Jacksonville offense looks right now, that any I don't even care if Trevor Lawrence doesn't play the whole game.
Oh my gosh.
There's just no way.
Oh my gosh. This scares me. I think he's playing. This scares me. Is Tannehill playing?
No. They've got the third stringer who honestly looks better than Malik throwing the ball in Tennessee.
He actually did look better. All right, I'm going to roll with you. Jacksonville's they've been hot. They've definitely been hot. You think that they'll get this done? Jacksonville's going to put away the Titans at home. And then this
Absolutely.
starts. Do you think this starts the Jacksonville regime of winning the AFC South?
Right now, if I'm a playoff team, I don't want to play Jacksonville and I don't want to play Green Bay.
Okay.
You don't want the hot hand underdog like those old Eli Manning Giants teams used to be, like, because you're not going to blow them out. You're going to get a dog fight.
Yeah.
Will they win? That's still why we play the game. But I I fear the reaper for many of these, teams that are sitting up there in the 10s and 11s and the double-digit wins to face some of these hot single-win teams.
Okay. All right. I'm with you. Jacksonville -6.5. That's a Saturday night game, too.
Oh, gives us something to do.
Gives us a little something. I like it. I'm going to go. We talked about this at the top, and we talked about this beginning of the year, and I think this may be scary because it may be the obvious pick. But the Steelers at -2.5 is just asking to be picked. We have the never been below 500. We've talked about that a lot for Tomlin. But there's also that sneaky playoff chance. And the fact that they play this game, the early game. Oh, okay, never mind. The fact that they play it at Sunday at 12. I forgot they don't have, because of the Monday night thing, the Pats and the Bengals and the Bills and the Ravens aren't on here yet. So that's why I was like, where's the Patriots game? Because that matters for the Steelers for the playoffs.
Right.
So, but regardless, they're Sunday at 12. So they got something to play for. So 3-point win, game-winning field goal. Give me Pittsburgh -2.5 at home against Cleveland. This feels weird, Jared. This game should be -4.5 or 5. Yeah. 5.5. I don't like the 2.5. It's scary to me, but I'm taking it because they're saying, here's the candy. You want the candy, kid? And I said, okay, I'll take it.
You want to get in the van, little kid?
You want to get in the van? Get in the van. So I'm getting in the van, and we'll see where they take me.
I love it. I am intrigued by the other AFC South game.
Okay.
Which I want to call either these teams are somewhere in between NFL JV and like an Alabama or a Georgia, in terms of what they're able to accomplish on the field. And this is the Texans at the Colts.
Uh-huh.
It's a wet noodle fight is what we call it in League of Legends, when you get two tanks in the top lane that nobody's going to score, nobody's going to do anything. Like the teams are going to show up and something may happen. But I can't imagine this game going over, even though it's 38.5. Like I would pick a powder puff from one of the better high school teams over either of these teams right now.
I would agree. So we're going under 38.5.
I think so. Yeah. Like maybe it's kind of like a nothing to lose air raid attack, but these teams are just ugly. The Texans have done a better job than Seattle tanking for Bryce.
They have. Good for them.
Go get them. But that's just an ugly game because I can't take the under in the Broncos Chargers game because the new head coach is doing crazy things with Russell Wilson that they should have been doing all year, and they're putting up points now. So you can't take the under with Denver anymore.
No, that ended a couple weeks back. That first Kansas City game where they combined for like 60 points, that was the death of the auto pick under for a Denver game. It kind of, that's not a thing anymore. But that's okay. We can pivot. We see that. We're smart enough to understand that. So we stay away now. We stay far away from that game. So, okay. This, like you just said, I reiterate, this goes either way for me. This is just, they're just chucking it up because they don't care. Or it's just so bad that either of them can't score. And it's hopefully that. I think the Colts have a good defense, and I bet you they'll play some of those defenders. I think in general, defense typically don't rest like starters like you do on offense. Like you're trying to try out the new quarterback and stuff. If you're your defense there, but they're out there typically. So okay, I like that. I'm looking at the two games here, the two NFC South, the Bucs at Falcons, Panthers at Saints. I like one of these two. I don't know who's going to win, but this is what I'm looking at. The Bucs at the Falcons, the over at 40.5. I don't think anyone's playing in this game. Like I don't think Tom's playing, but I just feel like they're going to put up some points. They're at Atlanta. It just feels like it to me. I don't know. There's just a tingly feeling I have. And then I look at Carolina Saints. I like the under there. I think
Really?
I think both of them are sad that they had a chance to make it and now they can't. And it's just going to be run the ball. Get Taysom Hill, run the ball. Probably Kamara's running back, run the ball. Panthers, they already run the ball. Like, I just don't see them chucking it around the field. I see them being like, this game needs to just end, and let's just get to the end here. 60 minutes, let's just get to the end. So I don't know which one to pick. That's really
intriguing picks, because if it were the regular season, I would be tempted to pick the opposite for both of these games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If they were still in contention, I would say, oh yeah, Panthers, Saints, there's going to be some points.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, Atlanta, they ain't going to be any points.
No. But I just think I don't know, Jared. I don't know which one I want to do. I'm leaning towards the over on the Bucks Falcons. But I want to take the under on the Panthers Saints.
I like that a lot.
Let's do it. I want to do the under.
I'm totally with that.
They're depressed.
I'm with it.
This isn't just a garbage game. They're depressed. They had a chance. The Saints blew it in that Bucks game a few weeks back, and the Panthers blew it last week. I think they're depressed. They want to go home. They want to go on vacay. They don't want to be there. Let's just end the game. So give me under Panthers Saints.
It's really and wait. So you're taking both? Those are your last two.
No. I was deciding between the two.
Okay, got it. So we're doing Panthers Saints under. Okay.
Yeah, we're not doing the Bucks Falcons.
I think you know the answer to this. What team this year have I watched more games of than any other team?
The Chargers. No,
it's Packers.
Oh, the Packers. Okay, I was kind of close. Not really.
The Packers, because I had Rodgers and I had Dylan on the team.
Yep.
I have watched, I'm going to say 10 of their games this year, because for whatever reason, that's what's on in Nashville, Tennessee. They won't even put the Titans on there that bad. and it's just, I've watched a lot of Packers game, and I'm a believer right now.
Okay.
I don't think, does Detroit still have an outside shot?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Seattle would have to lose for Detroit to have a chance, which they will know by when this game happens. They're going to know if they have something to play for or not.
This game, we're going with one of our old rules here. I don't know who is going to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I do know there will be more than 49.5 points in this game.
At Lambeau? You think so? It's not
Lambeau.
At Detroit? Okay.
Because you got to think, Detroit, they go to Chicago. They play at Chicago. They play outdoor games. I know they're looking at the stats and everything. Yes, they're more likely to do this, but this is an air raid nightmare for both teams. The ball going to be flying on Sunday night.
Ball's flying.
You're going to see two teams going all out. I think the Packers defense has gotten a little bit better as the season's gone on. They've gotten healthy. I don't think the Lions defense has, but I think this is a big time, easy 28-24 game.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you?
Yes.
And you got to give me an honest answer.
Yes.
Did you want to pick the Packers? But
no,
you would hurt my feelings.
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, I want the over.
You want the over? Okay. All right. I'm on board. I like that much better.
Because when you have, it's a coin flip game, right? Like, to me, this is like part 3 of the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it is a must win for both teams here.
Yeah.
To get into the playoffs. And when that's on the line, I don't usually see low scoring games, right?
Sure.
This game isn't going to end 10-3.
No, you're right. If the Seahawks win and Detroit has no chance, do you still like the over? Like, do you think Detroit goes out there and still tries to score a bunch of points?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right. Because here's the other thing you and I haven't talked about. So many players' contracts are stipulated on this many yards and I get a bonus.
Sure. You're right.
This many touchdowns and I get a bonus.
Yeah.
Like that's what's going to be happening in some of these other games that we're watching.
A lot of incentives.
I think there will be a lot of incentives. Plus, I have zero faith in the Seahawks at home against LA.
Wow.
So we're fine, baby.
Wow. That's awful. Do you know? Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Oh, never mind. That doesn't matter. Never mind. I'm going to stop counting. I thought the Lions had been on a big winning streak. I think they had been winning a lot of games, but they had kind of been sprinkling some. I think they're like 7-2 in the last 9 or something like that.
That sounds right.
Completely making that up. But wow, I'm hurt. I'm offended. I'm gonna not pick the game then. Let
me ask you this: Who won the game earlier this year when the Seahawks were at the Rams?
We won. The Seahawks won.
Okay. What do you tell me every single year? You tell me the same. You say, oh, okay, LA, we'll chop. Oh, okay, San Fran. Okay, yeah, that's, they're better this year. That's probably a chop too. Never have I ever against an NFC West opponent have you, maybe the Cardinals this year have said, oh yeah, we'll 2-0 them. We'll 2-0 them. It doesn't even matter that the Rams aren't good right now. Like, it's gonna be a competitive game.
The only difference is this is we won the away game first, which is always like, oh, like now we're like the leader in the clubhouse. All we do is win the home game. We just want to got to win the home game. I don't know. Baker? Is Baker going to come into Seattle and win that game? Even cover?
I don't know, man. That would be about all he's capable of.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, well, then I will go away from it for your sake. Maybe we'll come back in the mortgage.
Here's what I do if I'm the Detroit Lions coach. Okay. It's everybody turns their cell phones in. No TVs. We're going complete radio silence. Oh, it does not matter. We are not going to be watching that game.
Dude, that would be brilliant. But how do you keep like 53 people and all the trainers? How do you keep everybody from not knowing?
I'm walking around with one of those little like sensors, and I'm hiring like 4 like just really big guys, some bouncers, and it's like, I want you to beat the crap out of anybody. Like if you see, including myself, if I'm the head coach, like if you see me on my phone, you beat the snot out of me. And then you just do it.
I love it. Okay. All right. Okay.
Or like shock collars on everybody's testicles. That would be
that would get them going. That would make the players so real comfortable. Okay. For my final pick, I've seen not a lot of these guys, but because the Cowboys are on all the time, I've seen Malik Davis, the running back, and Cooper Rush. I'm assuming the two of them are playing in this Cowboy game. But I also preference the Cowboys want this win too. If Philly loses, they have a chance at the division. They can overtake Philly for the division. So I think the Cowboys are going to try here.
I think they will too, but I
want the points.
Nobody on the Giants is playing. Nobody
on the Giants. They're all sitting.
Nobody on the Giants is playing.
I think give me Dallas 41.5. I think there's going to be some points put up, and I know the Commanders play like sloppy, whatever. But we saw Deshaun. I think he put up 24, 27. How many points was that last week? Like all the Cowboys got to put up are 24, 20, 27 as well. They can do that with their backups. I mean, this would be a game. If the Cowboys didn't care, I would pick up Malik Davis on fantasy, and I bet you this guy has 28 points. Like, he is a phenomenal third string running back, and he will get play in this game. So give me Cowboys and Commanders over 41.5. Give me the points there. I know the Commanders are going to struggle moving the ball, but I just think 41. I think the Cowboys, they like a good statement in a game that doesn't matter, so they can kind of puff their chests as they go into Tampa next week and lose. So,
all right, I'm going to recap us real quick. These are our 6 that we're locking in. This parlay would win us $465.76 for a $10 down. We're starting with, you talk all the time about how the mortgage is guaranteed. Like, bet your neighbor's mortgage on Jacksonville winning by, more than 6.5 points. So we're taking Jacksonville minus 6.5.
Yeah.
Then we believe in Mike Tomlin. We believe.
Mike, come on, Tommy boy.
We're taking Pitt minus 2.5, and they still have some playoff aspirations as well. Like, that wouldn't be a fun team to run in the playoffs either if they get that win.
Pittsburgh? No, nobody want to see them.
We have the Kindergarten League, Houston, Texas at Indianapolis Colts.
Yep.
No points are going to be scored there because both teams are pointless.
Yep, there you go.
And then moving into Carolina at New Orleans, Corey's got a feeling. He's got a feeling. Everybody's upset. They just want to go home, sit on the couch, play Fortnite.
Yep.
Under
They're sad.
41.5.
Yep.
And then moving into our afternoon games, Dallas, whether they got the starters or not, we believe in the backups. And we're saying the Cowboys and the Commanders over 41.5. And then a game that has direct playoff implications, people filling in those last wild card spots in the NFC. Detroit at Green Bay. I'm a believer in the over. I think Corey's humoring me on this one, but he's coming with me.
I'm coming with you. I think I'm gonna go down the road with you. I don't think you're believing on the Saints one, so we're both kind of in an iffy pick. As we go into the mortgage here, I will stay away from the Seahawks. I will give you that. I will give you that. What a guy. Promise. I am still mixed emotions. I would like the higher draft picks. I don't think we go into San Francisco. Or, well, if we go into Minnesota, that'd be interesting. But I don't think
Minnesota is beatable. Minnesota is very beatable.
They're very beatable. I think they are extremely beatable. Okay. For my mortgage pick, the Rocket Mortgage CEO called me and said, hey, if you win this one, we'll sponsor you next year. I said, for real? He said, yes, you got to win this one, though. I said, okay, deal. I said, deal. So we're gonna try real hard on this one. We're looking at, this was a game last week, scored a lot of points. Lots and lots and lots of points were scored. San Francisco at Arizona. Arizona's running back or quarterbacks.
I think it's the other way. I think it's Arizona at San Francisco.
At San Francisco. Arizona, I think they're kind of doing that thing where they're like in the crowd and you look like a quarterback, you come out here. And so they're kind of doing that. But we're going to take the over on this game. And it's at 40.5. This is at San Francisco. Beautiful weather there. Great people were born in that city. And I will say 36 points if we tease this down. 36. That means we just got to get 2 weirdo touchdowns from Arizona. And I think San Francisco, who is trying, they need to win this game. I think they want the 2 seed. I do think they care and they want the 2 seed. All they got to do is put up like 27 points. That's easy. Come on. What are we doing? So give me the over, but then it's teased down 36 points. Then a game that we referenced, who is playing another team that couldn't care less about this game, is the Giants at Philly. I think Philly got embarrassed last week. I think they're a prideful team. They have good players. I'm assuming Jalen Hurts is not playing, but let's look this up.
Well, okay, so I was listening to all the sports talk this morning.
Okay.
He's questionable.
And
the big debate is, do you play him to ensure the 1 seed if he's any sort of healthy?
Yeah, I would. I mean, you get another week off. I mean, I think you have Minshew ready to go. Like, so it's not just like, oh, we're throwing in a backup, but like, hey, if there's anybody if there's any time Jalen looks iffy, we're taking him out, you know. But I think you get him out there, man. Nobody would want, let's say they win this game, they get the 1 seed. How many weeks off would Jalen Hurts have before you throw him into a divisional game against a good team? That would be like, they have a bye, and I don't know. That's a lot of rust. I think you play him. So
yeah, I think if he's healthy, you play him. And I think that's what, honestly, I mean, obviously teams are going to be watching, right? So if the Cowboys see that the Eagles are going to win,
but they're playing at the same time.
You're going to sit Dak, you're going to sit Lamb, you're going to sit your all-stars.
But they're playing at the same time, though. Like, so I think it'd be hard.
Oh, you're right. I thought the Eagles were playing at noon. I apologize.
No, they're at 3. So I think it'd be hard for them to know unless it's something crazy at halftime. But so tease this down to 9.5. I like it. Win by 10, touchdown and a field goal. Philly can do that against the JV Giants, against the little Giants that are going to be out there. Give me Philly minus 9.5. That's our mortgage bet. So Philly, so 2-team teaser, tease it down to 9.5, minus 9.5, and then give me the over at now 36 points for Arizona at San Francisco. Get your this is, remember, making your mortgage is even money. We're not trying to find a lot of value here. I want you to feel safe. I want you to be able to go to bed at 3 o'clock on Sunday, knowing that your money is safe. And then in the morning, you'll have your mortgage paid.
I'm with you. I want you to be careful when making Little Giants references, because John Madden is screaming from the other side. And if they run the annexation of Puerto Rico on the Eagles and win the game, you're going to be really sad.
If I can be really sad, it could happen, John.
It could. Okay, I like all of that.
Okay, and then
I'm not gonna lie. I'm going to say this because I don't think my mojo matters on this. I hope I'm wrong. This would be the craziest week in my mind to hit the parlay, because there's just so much unknown.
It is.
There's so much unknown.
There's so much
unknown. So if we hit it, let's go.
Yeah. I'd like to make a petition for one final thing. I think we empty the accounts, all the bank accounts. Seahawks minus 6.5. Let's go.
When that game ends like 40-6 LA, and we have zero money for charity, I'm not the one going there emptying my personal bank account to make up the difference.
Oh man. Well,
not happening. But let's talk about where money is coming in from, and that is Corey's NBA teasers.
Oh baby. Been hot. I was trying to look back here. So I did I felt so good 2 nights ago. This is actually the first time I picked 2 in one night, because there were so many games, and I was like, oh man, this is so gonna happen, and I hit all 4, and we should have just done it into one big tease, but that's okay. So you live and learn. So let's see. Last night was not sweating it. What do we have? The Bucks minus 2.5 against the Wizards. They ended up winning by 14 points. Giannis had 55 points. And then the Kings had him plus 7.5 at the Jazz. They won by 2 on a last second shot that didn't count, but they were comfortably going to win that game. And then last night, 2 nights ago, Pacers plus 7 at the Raptors hit. Rockets plus 12.5 against the Mavericks. They covered. I think the Mavericks have played the Rockets 17 times in the last 4 days. The Mavericks they get to play Houston, I think, anytime they want. I don't get it. And
it's all the Southwest flights that have gone down. It's just an easy drive from Dallas to Houston.
Just
and then
get there.
All the TV contracts, there's got to be basketball on it.
And then the Warriors plus 3.5 at the Hawks. That did go to double overtime. That was a little stressful, but that hit. And then I paired that with my beloved Blazers. And the only, I probably would have picked him anyway, but Gary Payton II made his debut for Portland. This was a big signing in the offseason. Huge. His dad, they both played at Oregon State. Gary Payton, even though he played for the Sonics, was always a big Northwest guy. And so now that his son plays for the Blazers, this is a pretty cool deal. So I knew, and we were playing the Pistons. Like, come on. So that was like, I probably would have put lots and lots and lots of money on it if I had the ability to make a bet on my own. But we ended up winning by like 25. So hit that, which was great. I'll do an update on the next episode because I got to go back through and see exactly where we're at. But 64% was the pick rate before, I think, 2 weeks ago. So I need to add it up. But we're probably somewhere in that 64 to 66% rate, which is great. You're winning money. You're following me on the NBA trail. Let's go. Let's go down the road. So that feels good to me. I think, some of the betting patterns, like the Rockets are playing hard, so I've liked kind of rolling with them, even though they're never favored in any game, but that's okay. The Thunder as well, kind of as these two like underdog that always seem to get favorable spreads. That when you tease them, it's like they're not gonna. The Thunder put up 150 last night against the Celtics.
It's crazy,
just nuts. So they're trying hard. And I think it was said the Jazz, the Spurs, they're kind of on the decline here. The Wizards have been playing really well too. I was tempted to take the Wizards in the tees. I think that would have still covered. Maybe it would have lost, but the Wizards have been playing well too. So, yeah, lots to look at. Just keep following Rogue Coco on the Twitter, and we keep rocking and rolling. So it's been nice.
All right, I'm going to ask you one question about each conference.
Okay.
And I'm not looking for like the statistical best answer, but your honest feeling, because I think this helps.
Okay.
I want to start with the West. Who is the best team in the West right now?
Who's the best team?
Who's the best? Like if the playoffs started tomorrow, this is who you would put your money on in the West.
Everyone is probably going to say the Nuggets. I would put my money on Memphis. I think the Grizzlies, I think Desmond Bane has made a jump to like that other really good guard by Ja, and Jaren Jackson is playing really well. Like if he stays hurt or stays healthy, he doesn't get hurt. I just think they have the team. I think they could beat the Nuggets in a 7-game series. So I know people are going to say Denver. I don't believe in the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans will play well in the regular season. That was one of the future picks we had at the beginning, was they would win the Southwest. And I think they're going to be right in the hunt for that with Memphis. But give me Memphis. I think they're your best team in the Western Conference right now.
And then as we go to the East, you have the Celtics, who just look really good. You have Brooklyn on a 12-game win streak.
Mm-hmm.
And, you have not the reigning champ, but a reigning champ, Giannis in Milwaukee and Cleveland. And then I haven't even looked at this. The 76ers are 22-14. I've been talking so much garbage about them
You've been being mean. You've been being very mean about my pick for the Sixers to make the finals. Look at them. Look at they're cruising. They're running it. They don't even have Thibault right now. Like they're cruising, baby. They got the two Meltons. Of course, our boy James is out there too, still playing. And then Embiid, you're fine if you have Embiid. They're cruising, man. I liked the value pick of Philly. That's why I chose them. But I still, with Middleton, Giannis, Holiday, and then I just think they have the best role players of any team in the NBA, the Bucks. Those players know their job. There's no question. I look around, I'm like, they all know exactly what they're supposed to be doing on that team. I think they're still the favorite. I think they beat Boston. I think they're better than Philly, even though I still picked them, but I think there's a better than Philly. Kevin Durant can always take over a series, and that's always the questionable one. But it's like, what are you going to get out of Kyrie? What are you going to get out of Simmons? I still would not want to play a fully healthy Milwaukee Bucks. They should have gone last year, and they didn't have Middleton. So
yeah, that's true. And then I think the surprise thing as we transition out of basketball, as I'm looking at, is like Indiana is the 6th seed.
Yeah,
at 21-17, like good for them.
Yeah, man, they just got these wings, and they have planned it well. They've hit really well on their draft picks, but wow, I know who would have saw that. It was supposed to be like Indiana and San Antonio. Who's going to tank the quickest,
It's crazy.
Just nuts,
it's
man.
Crazy.
I saw that Scoot. I don't, because that, Scoot is the like second rated player that's going to come out in the draft, and he's playing in the G League. Man, he was like, he had the number 1 play last night. He threw down this dunk on this guy. Oh my word. I was like flew out of my chair. It was like, what the heck? So I don't know, man. I either him or Wembanyama. Give me one or two. In the draft will be exciting, but yeah, I don't know. It's been an interesting season. I think there's teams playing well that they didn't think. I think there's some teams that, like the Phoenix Suns, for example. I know Devin Booker's kind of been in and out, but they're not playing very well. Golden State losing Curry hurts, but they'll always get those home wins. So it's been an interesting season, but I think at the end of the day, Milwaukee feels like, I know they kind of have a tougher road to get through with better top teams. But I think put them in the finals. West, man, I don't know. The West just feels more open to me because there just doesn't feel like that team is going to just be like, we're here. Like which is weird because usually, I mean, for as long, the last couple of decades, you usually look at the West and that's where the bloodbath is. Yeah.
But I'm looking at the East, and I would say, hey, put me in the West. I don't want to play in the East this year. Give me the heck out of there, man.
Yeah, I just think they are more top heavy. I think, like you said, the Pacers at the 6. Put them against who's the 6 in the West right now? Is it the Mavericks or maybe the Clippers? I think it's the Clippers. That 4-1. I bet the Clippers win that series 4-1 against the Pacers team. So I mean, you start pairing it that way. I think the West has more good teams, but the East has better top teams. Is where I go. Because man, you still don't want the Clippers in a 7-game series. Like if they're healthy, that's always the if. Like now they got I think Kawhi coming off the bench or something. Like I like it. It's Wiley. You don't want to see that team. Like no, come on. So
nope.
We'll see.
You sure don't want to see that.
But I will tell you, Jared, if you're down 2 with a second left on the clock, there's one player that nobody wants to see. And that's Dame time, baby. That's the threes. They raining. I don't care. Who Durant? Nah, don't give me that fool. Curry? Nah, he's a circus player. Give me Dame. Give me a real NBA player. Hit that 3.
It feels like you always need to hate someone in the NBA. And I feel like now that you don't have a Kobe or many of these players that you hated during the Brandon Roy era are gone, Curry has become your punching bag. Or just anytime you need an easy target.
He's a Harlem Globetrotter, man. Like that's what he does. Good for him. People make livings on trick shots. That's great. That's what he does. Show me a real player though, a real leader. That's Dame. Gets it done. Curry. Come on, man.
You mind if we talk a little league before
let's talk some league. I tried out a podcast to try to catch up. We played a little bit the other night. I feel like I'm getting warm. I'm getting warmed up for league.
I like it.
Yeah.
I just want to, we have a couple of weeks, 3 weeks before this really gets going.
Yep.
I just want to look at some of these rosters real quick, specifically talking about, the LCS in NA, which is going to be the majority of what we're going to be betting on this year.
Mm-hmm.
And just imagine, because what's so interesting as I look through the different rosters is NA is just this crazy melting pot of good European players,
mm-hmm.
Imports from primarily Korea, some from China, some from Southeast Asia. And then just kind of these mainstay old, it's weird. Like I'm going to pull up the TSM roster, who's listed right now on the TSM roster, and tell you some of these names. Okay.
Tell me.
Hanser.
Oh my
is
gosh.
still on their
Hanser,
roster.
did he leave and come back, or has he been there the whole time? He is
listed on the Wild Turtle.
Oh no.
On the roster.
Is he an 80 carry now, or is he a support?
Sven Skaren is listed on the TSM roster.
No, these guys are they got to be coaches or something.
I understand that they may not be like their starters. Maple.
In
the mid lane.
In the mid lane.
TSM.
In the mid lane. Okay, give me the support. Who's the support?
Support. You have Chime.
I don't know that guy.
And who else do they have listed on support here? Draku. So
I don't know them.
Probably Chime.
But Wild Turtle is the 80 carry.
Yeah, he is listed as an 80 carry along with Neo.
Oh my gosh.
Just crazy.
Do they have another
that's TSM.
Do they have another jungler, or is Sven the only jungler?
No, they have Onda, and I don't know who Boogie is.
A Boogie? Man, that was the picture that I took at Catalina Island, was with Hanser and Sven Skaren. And I saw them walking out, and I lost my mind. And my now wife, I think, were we engaged then? Or maybe we were just dating? I don't remember. It was like, what? I'm like, take a picture with me. And I was so excited, and she had no idea who these 2 nerdy guys were. And I was and they were just walking with 6 girls with them. It was 6 girls and the 2 of them. And it was just living the life of an esports player. I was so jealous.
That's crazy.
It was crazy.
Here to me, this is going to be my hot pick, and this is my Celtics. I'm on EG right now.
Okay.
And they are deep.
Yeah.
But they also have one of the most consistent lineups. One of the biggest things that I think prevented them from not going farther in Worlds is all of the issues with Danny, who is, in my opinion, the best ADC in NA.
Okay.
Didn't have him for Worlds. We're not going to rehash all of that.
Yeah.
But this is who they have listed as their starting 5. Top lane Impact, bottom lane ADC Danny, Inspired in the jungle, JoJo in the mid, and Vulcan at support. That is a top tier NA team. But then some of the things I didn't realize who they picked up, they have FBI now, who used to play for 100 Thieves.
Okay.
So there could be some competition. They have Someday.
Oh, okay. Korea.
So, like, we just want to pick up all the old Korean.
Yeah, let's just grab them all that used to be good.
Grab them all, put them
grab
on EG.
them all.
They have King as a backup ADC. Like, this is a deep team.
Okay.
This is a very deep team. Very, very, very intriguing. And then we have to go. This is my Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
For lead. And it's Cloud9.
Okay. Come on,
I'm a
Cloud9.
giant Cloud9 fan.
Okay.
They have Blabber coming back.
Yep.
They have Berserker, an import. They still have Jensen. They still have Sven. They still have Fudge. There's
Sven?
a lot of good here.
Sven and
in
80
my
carry?
mind, not as deep. They did pick up Fake God, have him ready in the top lane if they're not going to play somebody else, if Fudge isn't going to play top lane. This is a good squad. They have Zazel backing up as kind of a filler, but he's played support for them before.
Okay.
This is another good, consistent team.
I think Jensen I think I could see him playing until 30. Like, I just think, I think mechanically he's always been really good. And I think he just likes playing the game. Like, for some reason, I just think I could see him. Like, he doesn't want to do other things. Like, Bjergsen, is he like a coach now or an owner or does he play? No,
I don't know the answer to that.
He was always that, the big mid laner, but he kind of, he just had the look of somebody who would go do something else. Jensen, I think he's going to play League for a long time. That's my guess.
Let's talk about a team where Jensen used to be. Let's go over to Liquid.
What's Liquid looking like?
They got Core JJ. That's all you need to know.
There you go. They got
Antorin, Whippo, Bjergsen, Ayla.
So Bjergsen's on Liquid?
He's starting mid for Liquid.
Okay, so he's still playing. Okay, then I take it back.
Again, it's like veteran NA and EU with some Korea sprinkled in the mix.
With some Korea sprinkled in. Like, it's if you've won in your career, you're like, hey, I've got a title. I want to go make some money now. Then they come to NA. Like, that just always makes the most sense. Like, let's just come to NA and just see what happens here, because we need a team, Jared. We need a title team to come out of North America. And
we do.
And I'm tired. I want to see the W. I'm tired of waiting.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do. Everyone else, in my opinion, is hurting. 100T was up there. They were at Worlds last year, but honestly, I think their team got butchered in free agency.
Yeah.
And then, you have Immortals, not high on them. Dignitas, not high on them. CLG and FlyQuest. FlyQuest usually is middle high, and then Golden Guardians. So when we're looking at a lot of our bets, I think you have to look EG, you have to look TSM, you have to look Cloud9.
You don't think there's
sprinkle some Liquid?
You think there's a surprise team in there somewhere?
I just don't see it. Like something like you would really have to show up, and a little bit of what we've done today is a little hype because they have like Wild Turtle listed on 3 teams, and they have Bjergsen listed on like 2 teams. So some of this is just for fun, just to say some names that I wanted to say. But looking at like who is actually going to start, it would have to be young talent from some of these historically lower rated teams stepping up and making a name for themselves.
Sure.
Or otherwise, I just don't see it.
Yeah. Well, and it'll be fascinating. From what I saw from last season, the way you can make your bets on League, and maybe they've improved it for this year, but it looked like straight up, you can pick who wins. You can pick by how many kills they get. Oh, that's your over under. And then you can pick specific players and how many kills they're going to get and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting. We'll see how the season starts to pan out. What teams, it's all going to be the tempo and the pacing. If this team just loves bloodbaths, well, then they're probably going to get a lot of kills. These other team are more strategic and play slower. So that'll be we'll have to find that in the way that we make bets with these games, but it should be fascinating. I'm excited to jump into this. I think this is a new area that a lot of people don't know, and let's see if we can master this, and then you guys follow along with us and make a little bit of moolah while we go.
I'm with it. Yeah. I'm with it. If you're out there and you're like, this is weak, it's a 5-on-5 game.
Yep.
Anybody can pick it up and learn this. And that's what's so fun about it is it in my mind, it's closest to traditional sports of the esports.
Yeah, it is.
Unless you're watching Madden. Then I can't compete with that.
Unless you're watching what?
Madden.
Oh, unless you're watching Madden. Okay.
Yeah.
Like what?
Or a 2K. Like video games mirroring real life
actual
sports.
Video game sports. Yeah, no.
Sure.
Yeah, no, this is defined positions, which is I think what we love in American sports is like give me their O-line and the quarterback and the running back. They all look different and they're doing different jobs, So, and that's league. There's different roles and we'll see how it goes, but I'm excited, bro. This will be fun. This will be a lot of fun. Well, we're gonna get this parlay this week. We're gonna cap off the NFL season. We can do a little recap. You want to do a little recap next week and see how we did, or we can do that maybe the week after.
You better be ready for next week's episode. I got stats.
Oh my gosh.
I got a lot. We're gonna play Quiz Corey.
Oh,
as
baby.
we kind of wrap up our season and see how well you think the season did.
I cannot wait for Quiz Corey. I may have a little something for you too. We'll see. I may have a little surprise for you too. It'll be a surprise Jared. That'll be my segment.
Juke Jared.
Give Jared heart attack. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. We'll touch on it next week. I'll have it prepared.
Okay, I dig it. Well, for Corey and Jared at Benjamin Betts, good luck on week 18 to everybody. Lock in that 16 parlay, get your mortgage made, and we'll see you next week.
Giddy up.
Yeah. This has been a Rogue Media podcast.